Brilliant. So thanks for joining us, everyone. And thank you, Ben and Chloe. But I should also introduce you as care of Mr. and Mrs. Gray. And also, is it exclusive luxury entertainment, or what's the other tagline that you guys go by?
Luxury live music.
Luxury live music. So yes, thank you for joining us, because I know you're having a crazy busy time at the moment, which I'm really pleased to hear about. And I know come Christmas, you're just gonna be sprawled out, aren't you? Thinking just break. So yeah, I just wanted to have a bit of a chat with you really, and find out a little bit more about you, your backgrounds, and also, what you have to offer, in terms of deliverables, whether it's in person or virtual. As we know at the moment, there's a number of 3-tier areas, so in the country still, so we're still in a lockdown situation, and so we're having to cope and manage the way that we have all year. So can you both tell me a little bit more about you guys and how you came to be, how this all started for you?
Sure. Our primary background was in theatre. I was in the West End. Ben's a lighting designer and used to go on tour with all sorts of stuff at Stage Electrics, didn't you?
Yeah.
So our background is really production and theatre. So that's the element that we bring to any big project that we start working on. For one, it's obviously the bespoke element, because we don't do anything twice. It's got to be original stuff, because no party's the same, no corporate's the same, no company's the same. Everything's got to be planned out and really suiting the brief, which is what we really focus on, don't we? And then second of all, it's just the immersive experience of it. So whether or not we are planning for a duo to be in the corner somewhere, or a full-out theatrical experience that covers an entire evening's worth of entertainment, it doesn't matter. It's just got to be absolutely right for the atmosphere, and it's got to evoke the right kind of ambience that we want. And that's our core value, and that lies from our theatre days. I think we have that to thank.
Yeah, certainly. I think that's the history, isn't it? And that's obviously how we met.
Sure, yeah.
And then it's developed from there, obviously, with myself playing the piano and you singing as well, which was not always the plan, but that's kind of also turned into particularly in lockdown, actually, it's turned into
back to basics.
What can we do from home, which it turns out this.
Yeah. So we're fortunate enough to have our little Joanna right here, and we, from living in the city centre for about 8 years, we never really had that, and we've managed a team of, I think we've got 42 musicians at the moment. So we jigsaw puzzle them together in different formations, which is great, because they all slot together and they're fabulous, aren't they? But we kind of went back to basics when lockdown hit, and we went right back to actually our core performance, which is him at the piano and me singing, for which we worked in collaboration with Birmingham Updates. And we went out to about 250,000 people each week on a Sunday, just to bring Sunday sessions, to do live, request shows and stuff like that. And that was really fun, wasn't it? Hit lockdown 2.0, and we did the same thing, but just independently. And then so it's been a baptism of fire, because obviously nobody could have expected this to happen. Nobody knows the right formula to go through, and I think everybody's just sort of bumbling through, making their own path, and there is no right way or wrong way to do it. We've just found the way that works for us.
Yeah, and it's so great. I mean, you are really versatile, and you are really open to consider things. So for our clients, you helped us with sort of being part of a bespoke quiz tournament, and they loved that music trivia quiz was brilliant. And it's great fun, and also the bits at the end where you're getting people to run around to get their albums or whatever.
That's like the quiz for me, because you need to really understand people's really deep, dark taste in music. There's stuff that they don't tell anybody else. You can tell a lot. You can tell a lot about a person if they've got the, you know, Michael Ball's greatest hits volumes 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah, and I think that's it, and music is, you know, it does evoke memories, it does transport you, it does make you remember, or, you know, where you were, what the smell was like, you know, who you were with, all of those things. So music is such a powerful thing.
So
and
we found that on the Sundays, didn't we, when people were obviously tuning in, but what we didn't realise is it became a thing that very similar people were tuning in every week.
yeah.
And when it stopped at the end of that, it was 12 weeks, wasn't it, I think, the first lockdown. When it stopped, then we'll get messages saying, what do we do with our Sundays now? Like, this is part of what we do.
Yeah, it's become a tradition.
Yeah, it was cute. It's lovely, and we really got to know a lot of people then, and stories behind songs, which everybody wants to talk about themselves to a certain degree. People want to tell their stories, and through music as well, because it feels a bit less invasive for people, I think, just to say, oh, this was my song, there you go, have a listen. It's less like reading your diary out to people and more just like kind of giving them flavour about who you are, which is a very British thing to do. You don't like to, you know, open up the gates too much.
Not too exposed, but
exactly.
in order to give you an idea. Yeah.
And it's, like I say, it's a very British thing, but it's a beautiful moment for people to really open up and say, well, this was the song that we was playing when we first met, or, you know, for whatever reason, it's a special one. Maybe it was the song that got their daughter off to sleep. I don't know. But that's really special, and getting to know people throughout this lockdown process has actually been quite wonderful. And we wouldn't have been able to do that in any other normal situation, I don't think. No, so there are things to be grateful for, things to be thankful for, and I think that's one of them.
It gave us something to do every week as well.
Well, yeah.
It gave us a purpose to rehearse and do things and get up.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? And you do, I mean, people were saying to me about our business, because ultimately what we've always done is to do with live events. And so when you couldn't, what do you do? And you're like, I don't want to sit there doing nothing. I want to be able to share, no matter how we're feeling, I want to be able to share that and talk to people and keep that line of conversation going, because it's important to keep talking and to share experiences. So I think it's great what you've been doing. And what I've loved is, and like you say, Chloe, you know, you it's not just about the music. There's been production that you've still been able to do. So can you tell us a little bit more about what you've been up to in that sense?
Well, thankfully, we when the restrictions were slightly lifted, meaning that you could still work, you could still, you know, we re-delved into the proper small print about what we could do, and we found out that we were able to still rehearse and produce. We were still able to film, just as long as we followed, you know, COVID regulations with regards to whatever studio that we were visiting. So we've been able to do a hell of a lot of recording, haven't we, which we feel really grateful for. Within that window, before we went into lockdown 2.0, we actually said, let's get in the studio this week. We filmed everything, and we did it within like 24 hours. We were there from 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. We filmed circus acts, contortionists, silk artists from the ceiling, fire breathers, snake charmers. We got a West End casting to do the tap routine from 42nd Street, which was unbelievable.
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, that's made me go on. Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Create a show that we've called the Grand Night In, because whether or not we want to admit it, this situation where a lot of virtual entertainment, it ain't going away tomorrow. It won't, you know, and there will be a lot of people who will still be a bit worried to go to big events and whatever. And so we have to find something that isn't just a Christmas offering.
Yeah.
It can be something that you can experience in the new year. So we put that together, which we're immensely proud of. And it's a fantastic show. We literally premiered it the other night, didn't we, to a select audience. And they were really blown away. It was fab. We've even got a West End choreographer to teach people how to Charleston, and that's an absolute scream. And it's got a bit of everything. It harks back to the old like Sunday night at the Palladium kind of variety show. Yeah. It's got a bit of something for everybody, and it's professionally produced as well. Which no disrespect to a lot of companies out there, but the quality of what you do really shines through when whether or not you're in front of your glitter curtain at home or you're in a professional studio with lighting. And like I said, no disrespect to either way, because you've got the personality, and if you've got the talent to do it, you'll smash it anyway.
Yeah.
But it really does help having a professional setup as well, and professional lighting technicians, sound technicians on board, which we were really, really lucky to have found with Birmingham Film Studios. They're amazing, and the team there, we can't recommend them enough, and totally COVID safe as well. They were brilliant.
And that's great. And like you say, as much as we want those in-person events more than anything, that's what I crave so much for next year. But we have to be realistic about, especially the early part of the year, you know, there's going to be companies that didn't get a chance to do their Christmas whatevers that are going to want to do it in January probably. But I also think there's an argument about hybrid. So some people being live and some people being, you know, streaming in, and so that I think I think next year is going to really be piecing together snippets of what's worked virtually and obviously what can work in person. So I mean, in terms of your viewpoint on next year, what's your wish? If you had a Christmas wish for next year, what would it be?
We're desperate to get back to our venues and our residences, aren't we? So as you know, we kind of look after the Mailbox, Malmaison, Marco Pierre White's, the Radisson, all the kind of beauty, Harvey Nichols, all the nice kind of venues in town, and we're desperate to get back in them and to do what we can do. But I think we also understand that if it's not safe and it's not right, then it's not the time. And I think London have certainly learnt that lesson hard this week by, you know, reopening potentially too quickly and then it going back to zero. So I think it's certainly a challenge to support them as much as we can in the early stages of the year, but hoping that the events world can kind of get back on its feet.
And no doubt it will. And the beauty of what we've created with things like the Grand Night In, it's actually very transferable. So if somebody came to us and said, okay, we've got the ICC open next week, we need something massive, the show is written. It's just whether it's physically happening in front of you or virtually produced. So it's very, very transferable. As soon as they're ready to go, we'll get the kids in and we'll do the show. It's already done.
And I think that the stage between that is hybrid, isn't it? So the idea that you will still be able to hire the ICC, you'll still be able to put the set in, you'll still be able to do the show. It's just the audience won't be able to come. So then it will be filmed professionally and streamed.
Yes.
So I think there'll be a good few months, if not the first half of the year, of kind of half and half, really, I think.
And I think also, we may well see an increase in individual bespoke events. So, you know, maybe a company's going to hire a venue exclusively, and then they bring in people. So I think we'll see a mix of that probably towards the mid part of next year. But I think that's what we'll see more of, definitely. I don't think people will want to be doing fully virtual for the whole year. I can't see that being happen, but who knows? I hope it doesn't. But equally, it's great that there is that flexibility to support if needed. So I'm going to ask each of you, what's your favourite Christmas song?
Can't ask us that. If anybody ever asks a singer or a musician, what's your favourite song? And these guys, you know, Catherine, I know it changes week by week. It's like it always changes. For Christmas-wise, for me, at the moment, it's Stop the Cavalry.
Oh, okay. That's my husband's favourite one. Yeah.
Well, particularly, we just released sold out now, pretty much, hasn't it? But we released a bit of an exciting kind of Christmas package where we had an umpire band playing.
Oh, amazing!
And you got to have like there was a package that went out with like a German beer in it and a glass stein, and you got to have bratwurst. And so we produced this with another partner, and one of the songs that they played, they did some weird stuff. I'm not going to say, you know, they did. If you've never heard Rihanna blasted through a trombone, I mean, you've got
oh my goodness, it sounds amazing.
They did a few Christmas songs, and Stop the Cavalry was what, with all the brass section in it, and I just can't get that out of my head. So
you end up waking up and still doing it.
I love instruments as well, but do you know what I mean? So I can sort of get why you would say that. What about you, Dan? What's yours?
Interesting. So in a party atmosphere, it's got to be Mariah Carey, isn't it, for all of Christmas?
Yeah.
That is the one for that. However, this year we were asked to do a gig for I've forgotten. There was a charity in Birmingham that we did a children's kind of event for, didn't we? And they asked us to do big Christmas songs, but stripped down on piano and really car. And we found out that Slade's "Merry Christmas, Everybody" is the most beautiful song.
Oh, yeah.
when you take away all the kind of rock and roll element of it.
Catherine's nodding her head.
It's actually a stunning song, and we did it. And we slowed it all down, and it was
lovely. John Taylor Hospice, I think it was.
That was it.
Yeah, that was beautiful actually, because we got to play some really nice Christmas songs for some really disadvantaged kids, didn't we?
Yeah,
but it was beautiful just to give them a little bit of a taste of some Christmas magic anyway, and that was
Wonderful.
Really
and normally each year we look forward to the John Lewis advert. Is great for us because obviously it's generally a female singer and a pianist. That's it.
Yeah.
John Lewis advert. So normally, there's the post. So normally it comes on the TV, and then within days people are saying, "Can you play the advert?" So we normally kind of stay up that night and learn it.
Yeah.
Whereas this year,
You know what? I think all of the festive adverts this year have been absolutely brilliant. I think, like, I can't.
Amazon's was beautiful.
Oh, really
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really enjoyed that one this year.
Yeah.
So, what about yours, Joe? What's your
yeah, I'm the same. I love all Christmas, but I think driving home for Christmas is my favourite because it just makes me feel like home and Christmas, and yeah, it's quite emotive for me. I quite like that one. But I mean, I love all Christmas songs. I love all music, to be fair. And then I'm going to be really mean now. Have you got a favourite genre of music personally that you each like?
That's interesting. Mine is rhythm and blues and kind of Jules Holland, boogie woogie, not quite on the edge of jazz, but kind of like boogie woogie, rock and roll, Jules Holland, that kind of.
Okay. What about you, Chloe?
I love electro funk, anything like with anything that you can really dance to. I'm also a massive fan of gospel. I used to sing in a gospel choir as well. So anything that's got that real sort of powerhouse gospel sound behind it, which we've produced this year as well. We've got our own gospel choir this year called the Feel Good Gospel Choir.
Oh wow, okay.
Takes any religion out of it. It's nothing religion at all, but it's really focused on, any pop song that's got a choir behind it, which if you think about it, there are a hell of a lot actually. We just produced like a massive show, which we're doing for the BBC tomorrow actually. But yeah, gospel for me is just like, oh.
Yeah, it's just your favourite, definitely. I think if I had to pick one particular type, so for me as a child, I grew up. My mum played lots of different music, from Bee Gees to Otis Redding to Stevie Wonder to Elvis, like loads of different genres, and obviously grew up with lots of pop music. But I think I'd probably have to go with more Otis Redding. So what genre would we say that would fall under? Would that be more blues?
That's so
soul or
soul probably, but it fits in that kind of slightly no man's land actually, which is nice though.
Soul though,
yeah. So right, I'm gonna take everyone off mute. Come off mute, everybody. We want to hear what your favourite songs are and genres.
Yes, let's find out.
Go on, Michael, you go.
So my favourite Christmas song would be Frankie Go to Hollywood, Power of Love.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
nice.
Another beautiful song. That was from, what was the advert then? That was
a John Lewis.
And that was Gabriella Alpin.
Yeah.
She sang that. That was lovely.
Yeah.
I would say genre. I grew up on 90s R&B.
Nice.
Nice.
I mean, I've got a really eclectic taste. I mean, people saw my CD collection and I think, wow, so many different genres. But I grew up on like 90s R&B, and that's like sort of memory for that.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's what you grew up listening to. I mean, I love so many different types of music, like Foo Fighters and Coldplay, and all so many different types. But yeah, I think what you grow up with is it's instilled in you, isn't it? So, what about you, Rita? Come on, spill the beans.
So I actually don't. I don't know. I think it's the Bee Gees, but can you remember that song, Mary's Boy Child Jesus Christ?
Yeah. What tune?
I
Yes,
was singing it, and it was a conversation. It was a funny conversation that me and my husband had yesterday. I was like, "What's that song?" I absolutely love it. And then basically the end of term for me, when I was a kid, I was in a girls' school, so for end of term you would naturally sing every single sort of hymn that you can think of, and I was trying to think of hymns yesterday, but I literally can't remember half of them unless they came on Songs of Praise or something. So that's my probably my Christmas carol. But I was a 80s kid, and so for me, soul, funk, rare groove, and anything that you can bop to with, in a cheesy 80s nightclub was absolutely brilliant. So everything from Gloria Gaynor to Chaka Khan was, that is my thing. So my husband has a massive collection of vinyl. So once in a while, when we basically open up a bottle of something, we'll be sort of prancing around the house with drink and music in tow. So yeah, it's great. So I can't wait to do a soul night with you one day. So that would be so cool.
That'd be wonderful. So I miss those days of Netflix seems to have taken over now, doesn't it? But I'm certainly with my parents, I know they used to have their friends round, and it used to literally be a vinyl party. That was what it was. And there was song after song, and it was people come around for a few episodes of Schitt's Creek or whatever's on currently, but that's the different way of doing it.
And what about you, Catherine? Come on, what's your favourite Christmas song and your genre?
God, it's so eclectic. I couldn't say. What I really do love is like a reharmonization of a certain song. Like, I suppose rock is what really gets me going. I'm just a frustrated rock star, really. I haven't got the voice for it at all. I'm classically trained. My further education was in pop and my degree's in jazz. So I totally appreciate every genre. I think my favourite thing is like Winter Wonderland, a reharmonisation I did of that. That's got to be my favourite song.
Nice.
Great stuff. So right then, guys, what would you like to? What we're going to do? What we're going to play?
What should you do?
Requests?
Well, we've got sort of two songs that we could give that is completely the polar opposite. Since it is December now and somebody's been thawing Michael Bublé, so he's thoroughly today. He's ready. He's up and ready. So we've got, it was Bing Crosby originally, obviously, but it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, which I think is a cheeky, I just love it.
Nice little fun one,
cute one. And then the Pogues. It's
song.
It's a classic, and when it's done on the piano, we've done like a gentle arrangement of it, and it's really quite lovely. But we're happy to do them both. Happy to do one. It's totally up to you guys. How sick of us you are.
What's the vote? 2. Yes, please.
No problem at all.
Yeah,
Get a little set up. Let's have a little look at. I need to turn on this sound thing here. There we go.
All good?
No, not quite yet. There it is. Here we go then.
We're there.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10 glistening once again. The candy canes and starlings aglow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Bonnie and Ben. Dolls little talking will go for a walk in the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. There's a tree in the Grand Hotel, there's one in the park as well, the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that'll make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. 'Cause it's Christmas time once more.
There you go, guys. A little bit of bing.
Thank you.
And do you want to get the poem to go?
Yeah.
For sure. So this, this is our little version of the poems, which we sort of chilled out a little bit and we spaced it out a little bit more. It's just, I think it's the ultimate Christmas song. It really is. Pretty much everybody just gets in the mood when they hear this one. But yeah, thank you for having us. Thank you for listening to us, and we'll hope to see you again really soon.
Thanks, guys.
It was Christmas Eve, babe, and the wrong time, and a man said to me, won't see another one. And then he sang a song, the rare mountain dew. I turned my face away and dreamed about you. God, what a lucky one. Came 1921. I've got a feeling this year's for me and you. So happy Christmas. I love you, baby. I can see a better time when all our dreams come true. They've got cars, big as bars, they got rivers of gold, where the wind goes right through you, it's no place for the old. When you first took my hand on that cold Christmas Eve, you promised me Broadway was waiting for me. You're handsome and pretty, queen of New York City. When the band finished playing, they called out for more. Sinatra was swinging, all the drums they were singing. We kissed on the corner, then danced through the night. The boys of the MIB choir were singing Galway Bay, and the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day. I could have been someone, well, so could anyone. You took my dreams from me when I first found you. I kept them with me, babe. I put them with my own. Can't make it all alone. I built my dreams around you. And the boys of the MIP choir were singing Galway Bay, and the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day. boys in the NYPD are still singing Galway Bay, and the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day.
Thank you. That was gorgeous. Brilliant. Thanks very much. But thanks for joining us. And you both are really, well, everybody a really happy Christmas when you finally get to down tools and actually enjoy the festivities. And yeah, we'll look forward to putting